In real verification, the data doesn't always play by the rules. One moment you are controlling a tiny packet, the next a full Ethernet frame. Sometimes responses arrive out of the order, making the tracking a real-time headache. So, how do you deal with that? How do you make your test bench adaptive without changing everything? SystemVerilog brings something special for this. Arrays that can grow, shrink, or even map with unique IDs. They are built to handle the unpredictable situations. In this episode, we explore how these tools turn rigid test benches into flexible, real-world ready environments. And once you see them in action, you realize why they are such a game changer in verification. Hey guys, welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to discuss the below topics. First, we will talk about the dynamic arrays, and this will be used for variable length stimulus creation in the verification paradigm. Next, we will go through an example of Ethernet frame verification that will explicitly use the dynamic arrays. Next, we'll talk about the associative arrays that is mostly used for transaction tracking, and this is a very important part of the verification. Next, we will talk about the mapping transaction IDs to the responses through an example, and that will explicitly say how the associative array is used in verification. Finally, we will compare the dynamic arrays with the associative arrays that in this episode we are talking about. And that's how we will conclude this episode. We are done talking here, so let's move on to the next slide. Why the dynamic arrays and associative arrays are introduced in SystemVerilog. In the evolution from Verilog to SystemVerilog, one of the important improvements came in the way arrays are handled. Traditional fixed size arrays in Verilog often created limitation, especially when dealing with data structures that need to grow, shrink, or adapt dynamically at runtime. To overcome these constraints, SystemVerilog introduced dynamic arrays and associative arrays. Let's explore why these were necessary and how they enhance flexibility in our designs. So let us move on to the next slide. Dynamic array, the variable length stimulus. In modern verification environments, we often work with data that does not fit neatly into fixed sizes, whether it's variable length network packets or dynamic transaction queues. Flexibility in handling the data is key. This is where the dynamic array steps in, providing ability to allocate and resize the memory during runtime, making them ideal for building adaptable, efficient, and reusable test benches. Now let us see more about the dynamic arrays. The verification environments often deal with datasets unpredictable size such as variable length packets or transaction queues. Because it's real-world verification, we will have random generation of the data, and hence we will get such kind of packets. Next, dynamic array allows efficient allocation and resizing of memory at runtime, eliminating the need of fixed and potentially wasteful array size. This is one of the key concepts that have been borrowed from the programming language. Programming language, there were static arrays and they had limitation. Because of the static allocation, what happens that sometimes segmentation fault comes into the software. So that we do not have the similar kind of error or issues in the verification paradigm, the dynamic array feature has been ported from the programming languages into the SystemVerilog. Dynamic arrays are particularly useful generating stimuli like packets with varying payload lengths. And this is another important factor. Whenever the verification is ongoing, actually the verification is the simulation of the real world transaction among the different parts of the entire big circuit with the chip under test. So that will have multiple data packets of varying payload lengths. This is expected and this is simulated in SystemVerilog. So the dynamic arrays helps in this particular scenario to make the simulation realistic. reusable and scalable nature of advanced verification environments, enabling modular test benches and fixable seamless generation. Now, the modular test benches, it helps because we think about design reuse in VLSI every time. Wherever we design, we think of reuse. We change some of the parameters and we scale up from one particular node to another particular node. So the mentality of reusing is there in VLSI. The same mentality is rephrased here in case of verification to the modular test bench. And dynamic arrays helps there because the array sizes are not fixed. They are dynamic. They are flexible as per the need. And hence, one particular system which is written in SystemVerilog for verification for one particular device under test, that can be ported into a larger or smaller device under test so that we can use the modularized test benches in that case. Often used with UVM sequences to generate random length transactions dynamically. For instance, a sequence may generate packets or variable sizes and load them into a dynamic array of verification. So this way the dynamic array helps SystemVerilog coincide with the UVM needs. In the next example, code mimics generating the Ethernet frames with varying payload sizes, essential for varying robustness of MAC or file layers in handling diverse traffic patterns. So here we finish our theoretical discussion and we'll move on to one particular example in the next slide. Stimulus for Ethernet frame verification. In verification, especially for networking hardware like MAC and file layers, it's crucial to test with realistic and verified traffic patterns. This example demonstrates how the dynamic arrays can be used to generate Ethernet frames with random payload sizes. By simulating different frame lengths and contents, we can verify that the design handles a wide range of scenarios, from small control packets to large data transmissions. Here goes our example. If you look at the example, at first it may appear a complex one, but let me break it down step by step so that you understand it clearly. First, here we have defined the module and here we have defined our dynamic array. How it is dynamic, you can see here we have not written any number. Here it is the width, not the number of the array size. Here it is the array size and we have kept it blank and hence it is dynamic. Again, we are defining a int with the payload size. Now, when we write the initial block and come here to define the payload size, and we use the random number generator here and within the range 64 to 1500 as we have described here. And then we create a Ethernet frame with the new keyword as it is object oriented, right? And we give the payload size here. So this will call this particular dynamic array for creation. And now we use a for each loop. For each of this Ethernet frame, we have the index I here, and for that we are again using the random number generators. However, now the range is 0 to 255, and here for each of this element we are saving the random numbers. So you can see we are generating the size even with the random number and we are filling up the elements both with the random numbers. The entire thing is not fixed. Rather, it is flexible and dynamic. And we use the two display statements here for printing the payload size, that is this particular thing, right? And then the Ethernet frame, what we have created through the for each loop. This will be a single number and hence we print it here, and here we will have a series of data. So this way you can understand that the Ethernet frame verification can happen with such dynamic array creation. Now we are not going in the verification, we have used the creation side using the dynamic array. For verification, we have to push this data to the ports and we'll have the TXRX mode to get the responses. So we are not going in that direction. We have just defined the thing here and shown the usage of the dynamic array, because this series is intended you to learn how we have migrated from Verilog to SystemVerilog by incorporating multiple features from the programming language counterpart rather than focusing on the verification. In the another series or verification, right, the SystemVerilog for verification series, what will be coming up, here we will talk about the verification paradigm that will be totally towards the verification. Here you are learning the new things that have been introduced in SystemVerilog in bits and pieces. There you will see their application. So with that note, let's move on to the next slide. Associative array, transaction tracking. In many verification tasks, especially the protocol level testing, data doesn't always arrive in neat sequential order. Instead, transaction may need to be tracked by unique identifiers such as transaction IDs or strings. Associative arrays address this challenge by allowing data to be stored and accessed using keys, such as a hash table. This makes them particularly powerful for mapping and monitoring activities in advanced verification environments. Now here, let us talk. Protocol verification or mapping tasks often involve data that do not flow sequential or numerical indexing. That means we do not have sequential packets. We may have random packets and they has to be labeled. Associative array provides a mechanism to efficiently access data using meaningful keys like transaction IDs or strings, mimicking hash table functionality. Next, associative arrays are ideal for tracking transactions where data needs to be indexed by identifiers like transaction IDs, which may not follow a sequential order. And here we can think of the factors that transaction can be tracked using particular labeled data blocks. Reusable and scalable nature of advanced verification environments, enabling modular test benches and flexible stimulus generation. Now, again, we talk about the reusability, and in VLSI, we have the concept of design reuse. Similarly, we have the concept of verification reuse. That means we can port the verification system from one chip to another chip, and hence we keep the things flexible. Here is the associative arrays also have the feature that they can be dynamically assigned the key values and the hash table values, right? That means the key value pair. So they do have a reusable nature. Uses UVM scoreboards or monitors to store expected versus actual responses. The ability to index data using transaction IDs ensure that mismatches are detected even out of order operations. Now, first of all, the UVM has a sync with the SystemVerilog, and at particular point the synchronicity is kept. So the associative arrays is one of them because it helps the scoreboard or monitor system that is designed in UVM, or they can be even designed in SystemVerilog. However, more broadly they are used in the UVM. So these things can actually create a benchmark of expected versus actual response using the associative arrays, right? Because when you have a packet and you have a name for it, a hard-coded name for it, that is the key, and you have the value from two different set of operations. One is the expected set of operation and one is the actual responses. So you can side by side benchmark them, and even you can print them in shape of a table, whether it is on screen or onto a file. That is up to you. In next example, associative arrays make it easy to track and validate responses for transaction process out of order or dynamically, as seen in verification protocols like PCIe or ASIC, where the responses may not match the transaction order. So here order is not important. However, the label block, one particular label block should have its value as per the expected one. So with that note, let's move on to the next slide. In this slide, we will go through an example. Before that, I would like to say a few things. In protocol verification, one of the most common challenges is matching responses back to their corresponding transaction IDs. Since responses can arrive in different order than the original request, we need to have data structure that can track them reliably. This example shows how associative arrays allow us to map transaction IDs directly to their responses, making it easy to store, access, and iterate over the results. Here is the example. At first, it may look complex, but let me break it down. First, we have the module defined here. Then we define a hash table, that is the associative array here. And here the type is int. Okay. And again, this is dynamic also because we are not fixing how many keys and variable key and value pairs will be there. So it's flexible. Hence, it is also dynamic. So here we are storing the value. So transaction response, we give the key 1001. Here it is 1020 and 1050. So you can see these are not in order. So this is not 1001 and then we have 1002. Not like that. So there could be differences here. And these differences stored a respective value, right? With the equal to sign. In case you have gone through the Perl series in this channel, you will see there is a hash defined in Perl in the same way. Okay. So it is there. The concept is there. In the same way, we store the values there. And here we use the display, right? The print command here. And here we print the values here using the keys. So this is the key and this is the another key, and through that we are printing. And display is another way of accessing the values, right, onto the screen. And this is how we can iterate over all of them. So we give the for each, and then we have the ID number, and here we print the ID number, and here we value, right? So this is the key and this is the value. This way we iterate over. Now, if we have 100 of values like that defined here, it is difficult for us to print one by one like that. In that case, this will be very easy for us using a for each loop to print all of them. Now, here we have talked about the very elementary use of the associative array for mapping transaction ID to the responses. However, when we move to the verification paradigm, the SystemVerilog for verification kind of training that we will have in the next series, there will have the in-depth usage of this. But however, here you are getting whatever is elementary, and that is ported from the programming languages concept to the SystemVerilog, and that's where the Verilog and SystemVerilog differs. So with that note, we'll move on to the next slide. Comparative study, dynamic array versus associative array. As we have seen, both dynamic arrays and associative arrays bring unique strengths to the verification, but fully appreciate their role. It's helpful to compare them side by side. Dynamic arrays are well suited to handle variable size data such as packets, queues, while associative arrays excel at the situation where the data must be accessed using meaningful keys like transaction IDs or addresses. Let's explore the comparison to understand when each structure is most effective. So here is our table. In the left hand column we have dynamic array, and the right hand column we have associative array. So the dynamic array handles variable size test vectors, that is packets or queues, whereas the associative array, however this is dynamic in nature, enable lookups based on meaningful keys, that is the transaction IDs and addresses. This is resizable during runtime, ideal for sparse data structure. However, this is again sizable, however the definition should be done in the beginning. Useful for constrained random stimulus, simplifies protocol mapping and tracking. Anything that is protocol based will be dealt with the associative array, and here anything with random stimulus should be dealt with dynamic arrays. One example is Ethernet frame payload, and here it is the PCI transaction response from mapping, and we have seen the examples too. In this comparison highlights that dynamic arrays are go-to choices when dealing with variable length sequential data, whereas associative arrays shine when mapping or tracking is required in complex protocols. By knowing when to use each, we can design verification environments that are both flexible and highly efficient, ensuring that our test benches scale with real-world complexity. So here we are done with this particular table. So let's move on to the next slide. Thank you very much for watching up to this point, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In case you have some dislikes, put that as in words in the comment section down below, and bye for today.